None of mercy. This one is very classic, dedicated to all the schoolers who are taking big scholarship. All you who don't like school, just dismiss. None of mercy. The angel doula said they must respect this. Dedicated to the whole nation. Me sing.
Thanks for staying with us here on the A-Team. This is Nationwide 90 FM. If you're just joining us, well, you've missed an interesting segment. We've been at the Excelsior High School. We're talking education. We're talking about passing exams. You know that this is your radio study group here on Nationwide 90 FM. And this week, we're talking about some of the successes of Excelsior. Did not mean to talk so much about mathematics, but when you think about some of the great things that Excelsior is doing here, it is important that to possibly use this as a model for the rest of the country. We could learn so much. We could improve our mathematics passes, possibly if you took the Excelsior model. I'm going to throw out a question. I'm going to be giving away a couple of textbooks today. For the first person who can come to the microphone with a piece of paper and a pen and draw two symbols for me. I want you to draw two symbols, and you could win for yourself a textbook courtesy of Collins Books and More, one of the textbooks that you believe you need for your examinations. We'll talk about that. Afterward, we'll take your name and information, and then we can arrange for you to pick up your textbooks. I have a whole bunch of them, courtesy of Collins Books and More. Well, I want you, if you were writing out, because students tend to not write out their explanations, yeah? If you were writing out an explanation in math, paper 2, CSEC, and you're writing ratio, what is the symbol that you're going to use? If you're writing therefore, what is the symbol you're going to use? And if you're writing because, what is the symbol that you're going to use? I want all three of those. The first person who can give me the symbol for ratio, therefore, and because. So you're saying the ratio of that to that. What is the symbol for ratio? What is the symbol for therefore? You know, when you write and you say this is this, and if that is that, therefore, whatever. What is the symbol for therefore? And if you were writing out your mathematics explanation, and you are going to say because, what is the symbol for because? First person to give me all three of those symbols, your hand is up, or the first person at the microphone to introduce themselves, and then tell me what you have. So go to the microphone, tell me what you got, and then we'll see. We have two people at the mic. Okay, he put up his hand first, but okay. So good day to you. What's your name? Hold on a second. Yep, good day. What's your name?
My name is Tyler Grant.
Tyler Grant. Do you know what the symbol for ratio is?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
A colon.
A colon, okay.
Yes, sir.
What is the symbol for therefore?
Sir, it's a triangle with dots.
What do you mean?
3 dots that
Like-
form a triangle.
Describe the dots to me.
It's formed like a normal triangle.
Okay, what's the symbol for because?
Sir, it's the same symbol as therefore, but you turn it upside down.
Okay, carry the paper, come show me now. You're correct. Therefore, you win. Thank you very much. So give your name to Miss Smith. Give your name to Miss Smith so that we can arrange for you to get your book. It is important when you are writing your answers to write out and explain things properly. And using symbols helps. It's an easy shortcut, and I'm sure that Victoria and Davari, they use their symbols. Victoria Lewis is a fourth former. She got a 1 in CSEC. Davari Lake is a fourth former. He got a 2 in CSEC. Victoria, you speak very well. How old are you?
I'm 12 years old.
I beg your pardon?
I'm 12 years old.
You're 12 years old. Listeners, she claims to be 12 years old, and she's in fourth form, and she's already passed She's already passed math. At remind me, at 12 years old, you're not supposed to just done finish
Primary school.
primary school.
Yes.
So what age did you come to Excelsior at?
Well, I transferred last year, so I came at 11.
You came at 11 and you were popped in and you were ready for it.
Yes, sir.
What made you think you were ready for it at 11?
Well, ready for math in general?
Ready for high school and third form at that.
Well, I mean, I've been a determined person, and because I've been put in a class with people like 2, 3, 4 years my senior, I want to carry my own weight and to show that I can do just as well as anybody else in that class, regardless of my age.
Okay. Well said. I can't challenge you on that one. I have another student, Jonah Dudney. He is a third form student here at Excelsior. He's in the math program right now. He's getting ready to do math. First of all, Jonah, why you take up this thing by your head? You don't want to read up and down too.
Apparently, I found why I love math because it's easy, but it's tempting in a certain way. But I like it more now in the 9th grade because, especially trigonometry.
Okay. Especially he has favorite topics and such. Trigonometry, okay. So what I would say to you is that there's a lot of work ahead of you, and there are topics that you're going to like, and there are topics that you might not so much like. You might like construction, but not. Do they still do earth geometry?
No.
Okay, they don't
took
do
it off the syllabus.
Okay, but you might like trigonometry, but how are you going to commit, because it's early in the year, you don't think that you're going to fall off. You think you have the determination to tackle all the topics in time?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and what would you recommend to a student listening who is unsure about the subject? They're probably in 4th or 5th form. They're unsure about the subject right now.
Well, I'll tell them to practice more and keep telling yourself that math is easy, and not to just say that math is hard, but put it in reality and make it in songs, poems, and keep practicing the symbols, and get extra help from your parents, teachers, or go to classes.
That sound, it say put the math into songs and poems. That sounds like a Vibes Cartel thing. Get a T-square, I'm drawing the line. So let me tell you, one of the things that is a challenge to, well, I don't know if it makes it easier or harder. You tell me, and the 3 students who are on the panel can do so as well. Mathematics has recently introduced an SBA. Never had an SBA before, right. But now they have, well, these 2 would have done the SBA already. Right. He has an SBA ahead of him in 3rd form when he wouldn't have been thinking about SBA before. How do you get them ready for the SBA and make the SBA doable and practical to somebody at this level who's not used to research projects?
Well, what we are trying to do is use the SBA as a teaching tool. So the SBA this year is going to be based on statistics, and it's going to be based on something that industry does. When you are checking to see if the product that you have is of the right quality, of the right mass. So we're going to do a statistical analysis on it. So we have done something like that before with our CAPE students.
Yes.
And they found it interesting and exciting. And so once we give them a structure to work with, then we find that the SBA becomes seamless. But I must tell you that we had struggles before with some aspects of the SBA, but we have found a method that works for us. And so it won't be a problem for them. I don't think.
Duvari, what about you? Did you find the SBA challenging last year?
Yes, I did, but because of the help from the teachers like Mr. Fraser and Mr. Ingram, we got a lot of help. So because we didn't know it that much, we didn't know some of the things to do, they helped us with it, and so we almost all of us passed it, flying colors, everything.
Victoria, I mean, the advantage that you have is that when you are going to do the rest of your subjects, that's one SBA that you don't have to think about. But I mean, what was the experience like learning how to do an SBA? It's a different kind of an assignment that you wouldn't have experienced before, because it's not like a take-home essay. It takes you a while to finish, and you have to do it in pieces and pieces and pieces. What did that process of learning how to do an SBA teach you?
Well, for starters, it kind of introduced me to more of what I've been doing in like 4th and 5th form and what to expect an SBA to be like. And like Devari said, we got a lot of help with the SBA as well from Mr. Ingram and Mr. Fraser. And we were never really left alone with it, because they were always helping us. Anything we had issues with, we could go to them. So I mean, it's a good foundation for the next 2 years.
You know, Mr. Fraser, that is a challenge that maybe other students in other schools don't have. The SBA is still new and fresh, and at some schools, I'll be very honest, the teacher them leave the picking them up to struggle with it on their own. They don't provide enough guidance, and guidance doesn't mean doing the SBA for the student, but what it means is taking them through it. You are moderating this thing with them.
That's what CXC says you must do, you know.
Right.
The SBA shouldn't be something that a student is left to do by themselves. And SBA is supposed to be a part of the classwork. That's why we're saying that we want the SBA that we do to be used as a teaching tool. So the teachers should not leave the students alone to do the SBA. They're supposed to be provided assistance with the parts of the SBA that they might have difficulty with. And the other thing is even typing the SBA, the mathematics symbols. The students would not necessarily know where in Word to find them and all those type of things. So you have to sit down and guide them through all of those, through all of those things. The calculations, just like if you get some work in class and you do the calculations and you get them wrong, teacher would have to correct you and say, this is incorrect, this is the proper way to do it. So you allow them to do it over. So that is how the SBA should be done. It shouldn't be left to students to fend for themselves, as it were.
Let me just use that as a teachable moment. There are teachers all over this country possibly listening to the program. I am asking you, provide better guidance to your students. Your students can do well at this subject if you motivate them, build them up, and guide them in the right direction. Jonah, you're not afraid of the SBA. You ready for this?
Yes, I am.
And you're not afraid of the learning about statistics and that sort of thing in order to apply?
No, I'm not. I like learning about new things that fascinates me.
So you probably expect that you're going to probably be doing a lot of reading outside to kind of see how maybe statistics is applied in other areas, so that you can get practical examples to say, this is how I'm going to do my SBA.
Yes, actually, yeah.
All right. My guests in these two segments have been Victoria Lewis, Devari Lake, and Jonah Dudney, as well as Darren Fraser, a teacher of math here at Excelsior High. On the other side of the break, we're going to talk to the principal and some more students. We'll be right back.
Mercy, the angel doula said they must respect this. Dedicate to the whole nation. Me sing. Every pressure, no more. You're illiterate and